And welcome to Kayfabe is Not Dead. This resurrected episode. It feels really good to be back. I'm your host CJ. I know we got Dapper on the other end. It's not it's not
Yep.
it's not the Hulkster if you're watching the video, but thank you for filling in these
Yeah.
past few episodes. I've kind of known what's happened as far as the wrestling stuff is concerned, but I've kind of been in a fog the last couple weeks. Do you have any comments to help fill our listeners in on what's been happening?
Well, I mean, one thing I just want to come up right off the bat with and say is I'm glad to see they're better. Jess has been updating me while he was at the hospital with you, so I'm glad all our thoughts and prayers went out for you.
Yeah, I'm
And
not
you're
I'm not really sure exactly what kind of happened. I kind of just like passed out and I've kind of just been
I
like
mean,
out of it for like a couple weeks now. Like I was in a coma.
yeah, you were in a coma
Like
for like almost a month,
the
dude.
doctors couldn't even really explain to me like what happened. So that's not off-putting or unsettling or anything, but
No, I mean,
they said
from
I'm
what
okay
from what
now.
yeah, I mean, from what I was told and what I mean, it was a while ago. My memory's a little foggy about it, but pretty much they confirmed that there was like a blunt force trauma to the head that kind of concussed you. You had a little bit of bleeding, and they had you were doing good at first, and then you kind of had a little setback, and they had to do one of those medically induced
Oh,
comas. But
wow. Well,
yeah, but it kind of reset everything. They did say though that the fog or haze or slight amnesia will start to wear away shortly. So hopefully you'll be able to have everything come back together and we can piece together what happened that night.
yeah, I wonder like where was I? Like was I at my house? Like what was
Well, we were all at Jess's house
Oh,
and we were filming one of our the results of one of the pay-per-views. I believe it was Great Balls of Fire.
oh.
And as we were going through the results, I mean, you pretty much won it, even though once again I'm not 100% on agreeing with you on how you won it, but you won it, and I was just fed up with the whole scenario, so I left. And yeah, next thing I know, I got a phone call from Jess saying he's taking you to the hospital.
Jeez. Well,
Yeah,
well,
but
well,
don't worry though.
yeah, I'm just glad to be back. My head is only constantly pounding, and the doctor said that I might never not have a migraine. So, but we got a good pay-per-view to distract me
Yep.
from the pain.
And and then also like since you've been gone, I mean, I was
Up,
second
up.
place, and
Oh,
so
oh,
I had to hold on. So
sorry, Dapper, but
yeah,
you turned into a robot for a little bit. If we keep having this kind of problem,
uh,
I might have to reconfigure my internet connection. So, but we might have to redo some
right,
stuff, but hopefully not. We'll keep going though.
yeah.
So
Let's just keep going with it. But just want you to know that the title's safe with me.
okay.
I've had like a three pay-per-view run right now, so we'll see if I can keep it. But I'll be more than happy to give you the opportunity to reclaim your title.
All right. We'll definitely see. We'll definitely see how this one goes. I'm feeling pretty confident. For some reason, I feel like I got nothing to lose. So, uh,
Well, you don't because you don't have the title, so you really have nothing to lose.
ah, damn it. All right. Well, let's go ahead and start with the pre-show. And I mean, it's kind of become a running joke where we always think we know what the pre-show is, and they always change it. So,
Well,
as
this was added yesterday.
As always, this is subject to change. If they don't have the matches as we predict them, they won't count towards our numbers. But the first match I got is Elias, the Drifter, formerly known as Elias Sampson. They
Yep.
just cut off his last name. Uh,
That's what they do when you leave NXT. They just drop the last name.
versus Apollo Crews, the guy with a last name still.
Hmm.
And I really don't know what to say about this. I mean,
There's
I'm glad Apollo is doing something. So you know what? But I think Elias is gonna win. Come on.
yes, Elias, I believe, has this hands down. I mean, I don't know exactly like what you've been able to catch up on, but pretty much Elias has a storyline and Apollo Crews does not. So, I mean, my hands are going for Elias on
Are they
this one.
actually giving him
Why this?
are they giving him an intercontinental title push?
I think that's what they're going towards because Apollo Crews had a little IC title run that went nowhere, but I mean, I think they're trying to keep him in that intercontinental area, even though he's super huge and seems like he's getting over with the fans as just an all around good wrestler.
Well, I mean, his he has the perfect formula for getting heel heat.
Oh
He
yeah,
just sits there, plays guitar pretty badly, and then
yeah.
says, "I wrote
I
this.
hate whatever town.
I wrote this song just for you. La la la. Your town sucks." And it's perfect because every single person is going to instantly hate you for saying that.
Yes.
It's a perfect formula.
Yeah, but yeah, and just to clarify too, when I go over to Jess's for the pay per view, I will be doing another episode with him so we can get his predictions in.
Okay.
But right now, we both are in agreement. We're both going Elias.
All right. So
We're gonna walk with Elias.
for now. So we'll move on to the surprisingly quick cruiserweight championship push that
Yeah.
the newly initiated Enzo Amore is getting versus
Hey,
the once and true champion King Neville.
I mean, he might have a chance. He's weighing in at 206. He's got a
Yeah,
he's the
he's the
heavyweight of the
heavyweight.
cruiserweights.
Yeah. I think this is like, I mean, come on, lock of the night. There is no way in hell Enzo wins. No way
I,
in hell that happens.
he's got no chance.
No chance.
I mean, the thing everyone's like, "Oh, I don't know how he's got this title shot." And I'm like, "Well, look at the women's division. Look at pretty much any title match we've ever had this last couple years. They make no sense who gets a title shot. They
It's
just
whoever's
that's
popular.
your push. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's your push is next. It's like you're popular on Monday. Next pay per view, you're the championship title match. But I
You're
mean,
probably not going to win, but
yeah, like I mean, it's tough.
if you win the belt, it's going to last for a day.
For a day. You'll lose it on Monday.
Yeah.
But I'm going with Neville on this one just because he's he has the better performance. He's a great heel champion. The only reason why I think Enzo got this title shot is because Neville has literally beat everyone
Well, where
else.
the hell is Tozawa? Is he hurt?
No, he just I don't know why they gave him the title. I don't know why they gave him the title for a day, but they did.
And then he's
And then Neville got it
disappeared.
back. Yeah, he just disappeared because I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking why they had Tozawa win is because they wanted to make it kind of like Alexa Bliss losing the title for a day to Sasha Banks so she can become the 4-time champion. Just so it kind of shows that the champion, the heel champion, is vulnerable to a loss somehow. But it's because they lost focus. They weren't like all in it, and then they come back a day later and dominate.
Uh,
Like I think that's what they're doing. There's no way I think Enzo's going to win this, so I'm going Neville retaining his championship.
yeah, I'm gonna assume Jess is gonna say the same thing, but we'll have to find out later. I don't. I
Jess
think
is kind of soft.
this is the pre-show. So okay, you know what would be interesting to discuss because How do you think the match is actually going to play out? I mean, I think we obviously are
For
going.
Enzo and Neville.
Yeah, I think obviously we're going to get a Neville squash, but is this gonna? Are they actually going to have this be like a 20-minute match where Neville just does whatever he
I think
wants?
I think it's going to be like a 10-minute match maybe, and Enzo's going to come out strong because he might not be as jacked, but I think he's bigger than Neville. And I think he's going to come out strong, but Neville's going to pretty much with strength bring it back and take it for the win. I don't know if maybe someone's going to come down to kind of not interfere, but distract Enzo for Neville to get the win. I don't know. But something's going to happen because they need Enzo to lose, but lose not cleanly. So it kind of like, well, he lost, but he could have still had a chance.
Well, I'm hoping
Kind of like
I'm
how,
hoping they're moving back to Zawa after this squash. I'm predicting a squash. I'm gonna be curious how long it goes though. If they're actually gonna maybe make the Elias Apollo Cruz match take up more time because this pre-show lasts like an hour. So
yeah,
you can only do so many damn interviews before like these matches have to actually last some amount of time. This can't be like a 30-second thing.
no, I think it's going to be 10 minutes maybe.
Yeah. Maybe Enzo could do something. We'll see. But until Enzo improves in the ring, I he should legitimately have 205 is supposed to all be about technical wrestling. So if he actually has a credible run with the belt, that would ruin the product, and I would have to like take a break.
Well, I'd hate for you to take a break from 205 because if you did, their viewership will drop 50%.
No, I can't deal with an Enzo champion when we've had so many other capable people holding that belt. That belt actually has some legitimacy to it.
I think it would have been better if they had Enzo work his way up through the 205 ranks because then it would have got, I don't even know if he did or
Give
not,
him the
but
actual underdog story.
yeah,
He's
just work his way
Rocky.
up because he'll at least be able to tell a story and a good promo to get the other characters over so you know who they are. And everyone's like, oh my God, Tozawa lost the title. Who cares? Who is Tozawa? No one knows who he is. That's why they had to bring in Tyson and Apollo Crews to help him. Like, the only one with an actual character development is Neville. Nobody cares about the Alicia Fox dude or any of the other people who are just
You,
randomly
you
there.
mean you mean the Noam Dar?
Yes,
Come on, come on.
Noam
He's
Dar.
actually pretty good. Uh,
He is, but no personality.
I think what you're saying is pretty interesting. I think the counter argument from a WWE perspective is that doesn't instantly cash in on Enzo's innate popularity, uh, with the fans. So they're trying to use Enzo as a driver of 205. It's
Yeah.
just I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Well,
What's
205, I think, is their lowest rating show.
what is the percentage chance that Neville actually loses? 5%?
20%. 20%.
Oh my God. You think it's actually the Enzo's got a puncher's chance?
He's got a shot if someone comes down to interfere and distract Neville so he can get the roll
That
up.
would that would taint Neville so much because he just lost it to Tozawa.
Yeah. Like if the Zawa came down the ramp being like, I'm coming back for it, then I could see Neville getting distracted. And then the only way I see Neville losing is with like a schoolboy roll up
Yeah.
finish. That's it.
But well, and then they'd have to have like a triple threat, like
Yeah. 'Cause that's the only way you could beat Neville is a triple threat or a crappy finish.
Yeah. And well, we're moving on
Yeah.
to
We're putting way more than the actual like
thought
people who
into
are
it. Yeah.
timing the match.
So we're going into a feud that I have no idea what to think now. Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. Can you explain to me what the thinking
Why this
is?
is?
Well, what the like I got the build up like it made sense until SummerSlam. Like I thought it was over at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And
Well,
what are they?
well, I guess what happened was Bray Wyatt interfered during like a mini battle royal.
Yeah, for the Intercontinental title.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then like disappeared. And so then after that they did the whole like old school Raw bloodbath, like paying homage to the Brood with Edge and Christian, but pretty much just doused Finn Balor in blood,
Yeah, I
and
saw
then
that.
yeah, and so pretty much it was like, okay, you wanted a demon, I'm giving you the demon, but then it was kind of like Bray, even though Bray lost like horribly, he's like, oh, you're just a man behind a mask or just behind the paint kind of
Yeah,
thing,
I know
and so he randomly fought Goldust. Why I have no idea,
yeah, it
but
rubbed the
somehow
paint off.
Goldust got
Yeah.
involved to rub the paint off to be like a pawn for Finn Balor. And then Finn actually had a pretty good promo where he's like talking about how he developed the demon character to kind of channel his rage. And he's like, who are you more scared of, the figment of my imagination or the man who created him? The only way it would have been better is the lights were off with just a spotlight on Bray. If they would have turned the lights off, turned them like the spotlight off, the whole stage lights on, and Finn Balor was right behind him, and just bombarded him with like rights and lefts. Like that would be the only way his promo would have been like spot on perfect. But I mean, I think Bray is gonna go. I mean, I've now coined the term. He's gonna pull a Bray and talk a whole bunch of game just to lose again. So I'm thinking Finn Balor's going over.
Is
Um,
the demon coming out for this match?
no, this one is just Finn Balor coming out.
Ooh,
No demon.
interesting.
But the whole thing he's trying to play off is that, yeah, that was the demon, but I'm the man behind the demon. So, like,
Does that mean does that increase Bray's chances of winning?
I don't think so because the way Finn is trying to play it and WWE is trying to play it is that the man behind the paint
No, no,
is worse than the
I
guy.
get that, but what I'm saying is like maybe that's not true. Maybe he still does need the demon to conquer certain obstacles. You know, he needs to utilize that mindset, even though that is just a character that he's made up. Like I could see them trying to use that as a justification for Bray going
To win.
over. To say that
Yeah.
that's completely false. You're correct. Finn's gonna go over. There's no way they do this kind of swerve with Bray winning.
Yeah. I mean, it would
This
be.
is gonna be the squash. This thing's over. Come on, let's move on.
I mean, I think it would be awesome if Bray did win over the man Finn Balor to kind of make Finn go into a depression mode and then be like, you know what? Maybe the demon's worse. And then maybe we just get a whole new Finn Balor where he becomes like the Prince Devitt demon Finn Balor,
Yeah,
where like every match is the demon, like how we had Kane the monster versus corporate Kane.
yeah.
Like maybe he might be the demon 24/7 if he loses,
Or
which I think would be
or
awesome,
maybe
but
he gets back with the club, and we
maybe
that would be good.
that'll never happen
I
though.
know.
But
I know.
yes.
That now we'll move on to the Intercontinental Championship.
But who? So who did you say? Because I said Finn for that
I
one.
said Finn as well.
Finn as well. Okay.
Intercontinental Championship: The Miz versus the
Jason.
the apparent bastard child of Kurt Angle.
Yes.
The guy,
Yep.
the guy getting the push from nowhere. That's the justification for the push. You know what? There have been worse reasons. This is a pretty terrible one, but Jason Jordan's actually pretty good. So
He is. He's actually a good wrestler. I mean,
yeah,
I wish they would have teamed him with Shelton Benjamin and not Chad Gable, but
uh,
I mean, we got to replace one African American wrestler with the other to keep the status quo.
well, you know what's up with Jason Jordan? He should team up with Apollo Crews, and
Oh my God.
they should just destroy 205 Live. Like they should join the Titus brand and just destroy.
Jason Jordan's right leg weighs 205.
Yeah, but that being said, The Miz is legitimately having the best run of his career.
Oh yeah.
He's not losing the title.
Plus he's got the Miztourage, who are obviously going to interfere.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I think the Miz is going over, and then maybe there will go into another match where he might lose it on like a Raw or some lower ranking pay per view when they do kind of like what they do with Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal, where they kind of put them in the Punjabi prison to kind of keep the Miz Taraj out. Like if they did something like that, I could see Jason Jordan going over. But a clean Intercontinental Championship match, 1-versus-1, with the Miz Taraj going to be on the floor.
Yeah, The Miz.
I don't see Jason Jordan beating all three of them unless the Hardy Boys kind of interfere a little bit. But then I think that's going to throw Jason Jordan off because all baby faces are naive,
Well,
and the Miz is going
okay.
to take
So
over.
that's a perfect segue into what I wanted to bring up. So, if Jason Jordan does actually get this push, I'm not saying that he goes over at this pay per view, but if he does eventually go over the Miz, and he becomes the Intercontinental Champion cleanly, is it
Hmm.
because he pulls a heel turn, or is it because Kurt Angle gets involved? Like, what does it take for Jordan to go over Miz and actually get the belt?
I don't think he's going to take a heel turn because he's getting the sympathy push of being like the orphan child. But
Well,
I mean,
whenever he goes into Hulk mode, he kind of gets
yeah,
that like that heel edge to him.
but it's not even like a heel edge. It's a Brock Lesnar edge.
Yeah,
Like it's just I'm bigger than you, and I'm going to destroy you.
I'm gonna German suplex you until you're
Yeah,
dead.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I think he's too green, as in not green as a wrestler because he's been in like NXT for years, but green as like fresh on the Raw show and roster that they're not gonna. I don't know what they're trying to. I think resurrect this whole Kurt Angle, my dad. Let's feel sympathy for you because I don't think it's landing at all. Nobody cares because it makes no sense. Like really, that's the kid that you picked for being Kurt Angle's son, not Chad Gable, the bronze medal Olympian.
Yeah.
Like come on, like it was almost wrote itself for you, and you chose to go against it. So I feel like they're trying to still push it by making him being like the please sir, may I have some more? Like the little orphan child of Kurt Angle.
Yeah. Uh,
But he's definitely gonna lose, sadly.
I think if anything, Jeff Hardy is gonna beat the Miz, and then maybe Jason
Yes.
Jordan beats Jeff Hardy.
Well, kind of going off the Jeff Hardy thing, I don't know if it's true or not, but I hear rumor that they're selling or they already have sold the video rights to WWE for TNA. And that's how they're gonna get the
The Broken.
broken Matt Hardy gimmick.
Well, they've been teasing it. I'll believe it when I see it. But
Yeah,
well,
but I mean, I guess I hear it's getting closer to being more true than false.
yeah,
Like they're in talks now or something. I heard.
they were smart. They would do it. They would sell it. Whatever,
But,
whatever.
but then it's pretty much WWE and Ring of Honor. Like those are the only options you have now.
Yeah, and eventually WWE is probably going to buy Ring of Honor if New Japan does it.
Yeah.
Uh,
The only one they won't buy is Pro Wrestling Gorilla because they're in their own little bubble of a world.
they're not big. They're not as big as Ring of Honor quite yet.
No.
Uh,
But
let's go into the
ready to
tag.
move on?
Yeah, let's. We both think Miz is gonna win. I mean,
Yep.
Jordan might get there eventually, but this is way too soon. Uh,
Yep.
so we got Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, champs, versus the Bar, known as Sheamus and
Yep.
Cesaro. What do you got?
I mean, originally I'm going Sheamus and Cesaro because I'm like, they're selling me on these promos of, oh, Seth, you guys call yourselves brothers. You're not brothers. You'll turn on each other the first moment you get. Me and like Sheamus and Cesaro, we're true brothers. We always know we got each other's backs and all these things. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, like they're selling me on this promo to where I'm thinking they might go over. They might do something for the title to get them kind of on edge with each other and end this. But then at the same time, I'm like, every time I want to go with my heart of hearts and go Sheamus and Cesaro, WWE is just like, what did Dr. Dapper say? Let's go the opposite. So we can just screw him out of the podcast prediction championship.
Well, isn't that foreshadowing them breaking up like every good tag
Yeah,
team that we've had this year?
yeah. I mean, my pick for this pay per view is going to be Dean and Seth going over Sheamus and Cesaro. I don't know. I hope that this does not mean they're going to break up Sheamus and Cesaro, but I think they're going to lose and then hopefully come back and win it again later down the line.
Well, I'm taking a shot. I'm
Okay.
thinking because Sheamus and Cesaro are so good in the ring,
They really
they
are that good.
they've literally been carrying that division. Like
They have.
Dean Dean and Seth are a fantastic tag team, and that's why I think they're going to continue this feud. This feud is fucking money. They would be dumb to do anything but to not continue it. And the best way to do that is for Sheamus and Cesaro to win the belts. I also am interested to see if we actually get Gallows and Anderson involved some more.
They might. They might.
Yeah,
I mean, they've been getting involved on Mondays. And so, I
there's so
mean, and
much
then
potential.
honestly, for a babyface tag team, Seth and Dean don't do everything clean. Like you'll see the ref back turn and Seth Rollins does a flying knee across the ring
Yeah.
right at someone's face so Dean Ambrose can go in for the dirty deeds. And so I mean, you never know. I like it's that heelish type thing that Seth and Dean do what makes me think they might go over and then Sheamus and Cesaro could say like, oh, you cheated or something like that, some kind of boohoo heel move, and then maybe the next pay per view go into a cage or some no disqualification or something, and win it back just because they're dirtier.
Well, I'm thinking that they're gonna actually win in this match.
Okay.
I'm excited to see what happens. I think it's gonna potentially be the match of the night. But we got some more contenders, I think,
Yeah.
as we move
So
on.
you're going the bar, and I'm going 2/3 of the Shield.
Yes,
Okay.
it'll definitely be close. I think it is a 50-50 match. I think it's
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, if anything, you're probably taking the favorite for sure.
Well, and then the thing that I do like about these matches that makes you believe it's kayfabe still alive is that Sheamus and Cesaro and the Usos are the only tag teams in all of WWE that I feel does a true like 2 7/8 count break break the pinfall where you're like, oh my god, it's over. I don't think Cesaro's going to be able to make it across the ring, and he does. Like they break up these pinfalls so close to where it's like it makes you believe.
Yeah.
No, that was supposed to be the finish. Nah, Sheamus didn't like that finish. Let's try again. Like it's I believe, CJ. I believe.
So now we got the women's championship match, which is
Yeah.
a crazy
Who's the champion?
fatal.
Alexa Bliss now?
It's a fatal five-way, I guess.
Yes. Yes. So stupid.
So that means that if anybody pins anybody, they become the champ.
Champion. Yes.
They,
Pretty much they threw the entire Raw roster in
I
there
don't,
and said good
I
luck.
don't get why they don't make these elimination style matches. Why does it
I
always
don't
have to
really
be
know.
one pin? But I digress. Anyway, I'm actually a huge Emma mark right now. I
Yeah,
would love to see her get a legit push, but I'm going
I
all
would too.
I'm going all in and saying that Sasha is gonna win.
Of course you are. I mean, hey, there's got to be a woman version of John Cena out there, and I think it is Sasha. I mean, she just wrestles what 2 years, and she'll end up being the 16-time champion. I mean, they just keep taking it from her and giving it back to her, like they did
You
Bailey.
think
But
you think Bliss is going over then,
I think
or
Bliss
Nia
is going
Jax?
over. I'm going Bliss. I think what's going to
I
happen
think
is
Jess
they
is gonna pick
foreshadowed.
Nia Jax.
He is, but that's just Jess and his fetishes. But I think they did some foreshadowing on Raw where Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, and Bailey teamed up to take down Nia Jax, just like you saw the Shield reunite that moment to take out Brock Lesnar. And then Seth Rollins is like, "Hey guys, we did it!" And then they beat the crap out of Seth Rollins. I mean, I think they're going to do something to incapacitate Nia Jax. And then I personally feel Alexa Bliss is going over at the end by pinning somebody else like Emma or Bailey. Probably not Bailey, most likely Emma. But they're going to try and keep Sasha Banks strong. Bailey just came back, so I'm sure they're going to try and keep her strong. And I don't know what they're doing with Nia Jax personally because they just had the second smallest girl in the division, Sasha Banks, tap her out clean in the center.
Yeah.
Like, your monster is now destroyed. It is nothing but puffy paints and gumdrops
Well,
because she can't do anything.
well, I think Sasha has been, even with winning and immediately losing the belt, she's still built as super strong. And
She is. And it's stupid
uh,
how super strong she is.
so I think ultimately they're trying to make this a Bliss and Sasha feud. I don't get why they
Yeah.
keep adding more on top of it.
Because I think they don't think that they can carry it because we've seen the 1v1 matches between them. Like, I think they want to try and change it up without making it like a street fight, no disqualification cage match kind of thing. Like, I would personally, like you said, love no more fatal 5 ways, 6 ways, menage a trois, but just a straight up elimination match.
Yeah.
That's what I would love to see. But I'm going Alexa Bliss, especially because she is in the No Mercy commercials, not Sasha Banks.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is 50-50 between Sasha and Bliss. I'm
Yeah,
I'm calling it for Sasha right now, but I might very
you
well
might you
change my
might change
answer.
when I pull ahead and have Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins retain. You're going to change it on me.
Probably, but we're probably going to be different on these next two
Yeah,
matches anyway. So, I
yeah.
might just pick Bliss to pick Bliss, but for now I'm gonna stick with Sasha. So now we got John Cena versus Roman Reigns. The build to this has been weird. Uh,
Yeah. Well, I like it. I like the build to this match. This, honestly, I even said it last Monday when I watched Raw. They're winning me over with Roman Reigns. It was tough. It took 5 years, but they're winning me over with Roman Reigns now with these
well,
promos.
what is this actually gonna lead to? Because if this leads to a Roman Reigns heel turn,
I
then
think it is.
then 100% Reigns is going over.
I think it's going to lead to not so much a heel turn, but a Steve Austin type of turn where he might be heel, he might be babyface. He's just going to be the badass in the roster.
No, but
where he's not really a heel,
he
not really a
he
babyface.
actually has to be a heel though. Like
I know.
they can eventually make him a babyface, but they first have to embrace making him
They
heel
do.
so people can actually boo him in earnest. That's what everybody wants to do. Whether
Yeah.
that's right or wrong, I'm a part of that crowd. I think the majority of the people that listen to podcasts like this are a part of that crowd. We want
But you know what? Isn't it a heelish move to not give you what the fans in the WWE
Oh my
universe
God. All
want?
right, yeah. All right. So WWE's being meta heel with Roman Reigns. Yeah,
Yes.
all right.
Yes.
That's
Because I feel like when you turn him heel, he's just going to be the quiet juggernaut from the Shield, and everybody loved him. Like, all you're doing is going back to Roman Reigns, don't talk Shield Roman Reigns, and everyone's going to love him for kicking ass. But then he's going to start talking, and it's
that's
like, oh, we don't like you anymore.
that's what I'm saying. Like you can get him over by making him a heel and then flipping him babyface. Like that's the thing. Like he that is if this is his heel turn against John Cena, that is
I think it
literally
is.
perfect. But they
I
have
think
to
this is
actually
his heel
go.
turn.
They have to go through with it though. They can't. Like holy shit, they failed to do it with the Undertaker. Like that was the most obvious, easy way to do it. And
They pulled the Shawn Michaels Ric Flair is what they did. The whole like I'm sorry you made me do this kind of thing. Not like yeah I ended the Undertaker and I'd do it again
but
too.
he kind of says that. Like
But they won't let him follow through with it because they're not ready to turn him heel because it's what everybody
and
wants.
that's why John Cena's going over.
Yeah, I know. So you're saying John Cena?
Yeah.
So now I originally was thinking John Cena, but ah. It's tough because I think John Cena really wants to pull away a little bit. And I think this, because I'm noticing the John Cena we got who returned is more like the Thugonomics John Cena with his promos. Even though he's still a babyface, I think he's more like I'm having fun with it. Then they're doing these like raw promos of go on kid, take your time, and he's just pushing them, being like, we all know you suck, kid. The reason why I'm here is because you can't do your job. Like John Cena's laying it in real. I think Roman Reigns, I believe, has to go over and win for the sole fact that John Cena doesn't need another title shot. Roman Reigns will have to eventually get another title shot. And to show that he is comparable to Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar, all these juggernauts, he's got to beat John Cena.
This is why I believe John Cena is going over. This is how
Plus, he beat The Undertaker. How do you go from beating The Undertaker to losing to John Cena?
I think a lot of people have done that. uh,
Uh,
okay, so this is how I fantasy book a Roman Reigns heel turn.
okay.
He loses this match to John Cena because he still hasn't gone far enough. He finally decides enough's enough. I don't give a shit what the rules are. He kind of keeps teasing this, but he's finally gonna go through with it. He's gonna put Cena through like 10 different tables or some crazy shit like that. He's gonna do something Braun Strowman esque, and
He's got to.
and then
He committed vehicular homicide to Braun Strowman.
yeah, and he's still not a heel. So he finally does something over the line, and that's what finally beats John Cena, the Superman, is Roman Reigns going over the edge. And then he gets into a thing with either Braun again or he gets into a thing with Samoa Joe and he out heals them. And then finally he becomes a babyface
And finally, he goes one on one with Brock
and he
Lesnar,
becomes a
puts Brock
babyface.
Lesnar in a chokehold, and just pulls out a knife from his cargo pants and just slits his throat in the middle of the ring.
He's like,
And then he
I'm
finally
Brock
becomes
Lesnar
heel.
now.
Yeah. And then finally becomes a heel as he licks the blood off the knife. Is that what you're thinking is gonna happen?
No, I
His ultimate heel turn
no, I think he becomes a babyface against Brock.
after he slits Brock's throat
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
with
he
the short
absorbs.
knife.
It's Highlander. He absorbs his essence. Uh,
I'm gonna. You'll never hear me say this in any of the previous podcasts or episodes or future, but I think I'm going Roman Reigns on this one.
yeah, I think they're going to eventually do this, but just like some of these other feuds, I don't think I I honestly don't think the best move is to stop them with this. I think you wait until I guess Survivor Series is the next one.
I believe so. But
Like,
then with Survivor Series, you're gonna get the 5 versus 5 thing. Like,
oh yeah,
are you gonna reunite the Shield with that? That's what I'm thinking. In Survivor Series, get the Shield going on there.
interesting.
Shield plus 2 others.
Well, let's save that for a different episode. But I think they're gonna continue this feud, and I think John Cena is gonna go over.
Now, what if? Now, are we saying John Cena going over with the win? Because what if Roman Reigns gets disqualified and John Cena goes over? That still continues the feud. If Roman Reigns just takes out a baseball bat and just breaks John Cena's
I think
kneecaps.
John Cena wins, whether
Okay.
that's by disqualification or
Well, no
by
matter what, John Cena gets his crippled hand raised.
yeah. Now, if that's what they do, that's perfect. That's actually what they should do. But
They should, but that'll never happen.
it's so dumb. They should either that or they need to make Cena the heel.
I mean, he's starting to come out more black stuff,
Yeah,
so we'll see. He grew his hair out.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yep, but let's get to the main event.
The actual thing that we all want to see.
Yes.
Uh, is there anybody that I think Braun is getting?
Bless you.
uh, I think Braun is getting dangerously close to becoming Austin or Rock-esque as far as how over he is right now.
But it's because of the people they're putting him up against. Like, he's getting cheers because he's, like, crippling Roman Reigns. Or he's getting cheers because he threw Brock Lesnar through 4 tables.
But
Like,
it's also because he does it with such ease.
he does. Oh, he's what Nia
He's
Jax should have
he's
been.
very old school in that like he literally does these kinds of crazy feats of strength and then like laughs at his opponents and
Yeah.
it's just amazing. It's just such a joy to watch. You know, it I don't know what that says about me as a viewer, but it's just amazing to watch him do that. Now,
Yeah.
is it because of the opponents that he's doing?
It's because of
Yeah,
the opponents, I think.
yeah.
And it's just now carrying over because you don't know any better.
See, I think it could be against anybody, and I would watch it. like,
Yeah.
but
So now what are you thinking? Are you thinking Strowman
oh
is
my
going to go
God,
strong
if
over Brock Lesnar?
if they were smart, they would put Braun over. He is so over right now. It is
Yes.
peak. Like if
But
he
you know what though? I think they're going to do what they did with Goldberg. Brock Lesnar underestimated Braun Strowman and has lost, not lost, but been beaten
he's been
down like
humiliated.
he has. But you know what? How many times did Goldberg humiliate Brock?
Uh,
Twice.
3 times.
Well, they've had 4 matches total, and Brock's only won one of them. If we're going back to like the 2000s, but pretty much, I'm thinking what they're doing is they did all those Brock's humiliated, but then you saw in that last promo, he's like, "Thanks, Braun, for waking me up. I'm coming," and I'm like, you know what? That's kind of what happened at WrestleMania. Goldberg beat him at Raw. He beat him at the Royal Rumble. And then all of a sudden, it's like WrestleMania comes. He's like, yeah, I'm not getting beat again. And he came over. But now, with that being said, I'm going Strowman. I want Strowman to win this belt because I want this feud between Brock and Strowman to continue.
See, I think if WWE was smart, they would have Braun go over. Braun becomes the champ. And then once Roman becomes the heel and beats Cena, whether I'm wrong and it's at this pay-per-view, or next Raw or
Next month.
whatever, or next pay-per-view, and then it's heel Roman against super over face Braun. Like
Hmm.
that's perfect, but they're not going to do that. Brock is going to remain the champion stubbornly until WrestleMania, and that's the way it's going to be. And
I don't know, man. I mean, it seems like if you give him a good enough money and a good storyline, Brock will lay down for Paul Heyman. If after Paul Heyman throws a swift kick across his face.
I
I
wish,
mean,
I wish, I wish I could go with you and agree. As much as it hurts me to say that, I think Braun should go over, but
what won't?
Brock is the one that is going to be winning at the
Hmm.
end. Everything you just said is correct. In storyline terms, Brock is gonna flip a switch, and he's gonna maybe he's gonna use a spear. Who the fuck knows? I mean, Braun is so huge. I don't.
Maybe he throws Braun through a
He's
table.
gonna jackknife him. He's gonna use Goldberg. He's gonna channel Goldberg.
Well, and then I know this probably won't happen, but I hear Undertaker might be coming back.
Oh my God, we're gonna hear that for the next 5 years.
Yes, but this time I heard it on Twitter by the Undertaker's Twitter.
Well, you know what? I'll.
And he's posted a couple pictures being like the second coming and should I have one more title run in me?
Is he that bored already?
I think he's
He
he's
he didn't he
he's
just
WWE's Brett Favre.
didn't
That's all he is.
didn't he just get his knee replaced
Well, yeah, he's got his hip replaced.
or his hip?
Yeah, I mean it's at least an 8 month recovery period normally. If they send him over to Alabama, where they send all their people, it might be like 6 months. But he definitely he might. I will not be surprised if you see the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
But you
I will be disappointed if he's
but
not,
you
but I would not be
what you think
surprised
he's
if he's
gonna
there.
be in the stands for No Mercy? What do you think's gonna if he actually were to show up?
They might just play his music. They might just hit the gong. Because the last time we left him, Braun Strowman threw him over the ropes.
They're gonna resurrect the American Badass.
I wish. He was the best Undertaker in
Oh
my
my
mind.
God.
Rolling down in the motorcycle, just beating people like a Hell's Angel would.
Oh my God. I think that's a perfect note to end this episode.
All
Is
right.
is how Dapper just admitted that he thinks American
Hey.
Badass Undertaker is the best Undertaker. That is so fundamentally wrong.
Hey.
Just like you're wrong, I'm gonna become the champ again. I'm gonna take back the belt. I
All right.
think
Are
for
you going for? Hey, right now we got Jess as the longest reigning. We got me as the two-time. Is CJ gonna be the two-time,
yeah,
or will Dr. Dapper retain, replacing Jess as the longest reigning and two-time champion?
we'll definitely have to wait and find out this Sunday at No
Sunday,
Mercy,
Sunday, Sunday.
and we'll catch you guys next time on the next episode of Kayfabe's Not Dead.
Yep, it's a pretty split card though, CJ. I'll say this. I mean, we're pretty much up until the Intercontinental title, we're complete opposites. So it's going to be a good one.
We'll find out.